June Kentucky air was thick with humidity as the Pro 450 competitors entered the gates for round 4 of the 2007 WPSA ATV Tour. Coming away with the whole shot was Lone Star Racing's Keith Little, followed by the Ironman John Natale, Harold Goodman, Josh Kramer, and Josh Upperman. Factory Kawasaki's Josh Kramer was looking to turn his earlier heat race victory into a main event victory as he tries the inside move on Harold Goodman for third. After passing Josh Upperman, Suzuki's Dustin Wimmer was looking for a way around Kawasaki's Josh Kramer when he spun out, dropping himself to the back of the pack. Up front, Keith Little was trying to fend off the relentless attack of John Natale when they came up on the first of his series of yellow flags that were popping up all around the track. This first caution was the result of a hard get-off by Dustin Nelson, who reportedly suffered a severely broken leg. Now on lap 3, it's Josh Kramer trying to make the pass in the same spot he had earlier, this time making it stick on Harold Goodman, taking over third. In the same spot 1 lap later, leaders Keith Little and John Natale worked their way past another caution flag, this one caused by a hard get-off by Jason Dungelberger, who was pretty beaten up but came back to race later that afternoon in round 5. Just before completing another lap, John Natale makes the inside move on Keith Little, taking over the lead, and then, due to too many cautions on the track, the officials decided to throw the red flag.
Did not complete 60% of the race, which is required. So it'll be a complete restart.
So the first laps did not count?
No, they ran an official 4 laps.
Either needs to be 14 laps or it needs to be a single file restart.
I only hear 2 people telling me this.
If they want to restart the whole thing, it's going to be 14 laps.
Majority of you wants a single file.
It's either single file or 14 laps, one or the other.
One or the other.
Should be.
It should either be a single file restart in 10 more laps, or it should be a complete restart in 14 laps. One or the other. Absolutely. One or the other. And which one should be, I don't know.
Okay, I need everybody's attention. Flack from anybody, just listen. 14 lap race, okay? Do you think your bikes can finish 14 laps on the amount of fuel that's in them now?
No.
Okay, we're going to refuel all the bikes. So get fuel down here. We're going to take them one by one behind the canopy, fill it, and put it back on the line. Are we clear?
So it's a complete new race.
Are we clear? Complete race, new race. Are we good?
Amongst all the confusion, Primus Industries' Brad Phillips caught up with several of the pros to see how they felt about how the restart was handled.
Here with Trent Candell, number 751 in the pro class. They just had a big old problem here with the pro race. Dustin Nelson and Dunk got in some pretty bad crashes, and they red flagged it. There's some controversy on stuff. So, Trent, what do you think about what happened? Do you think it was handled fairly?
Yes and no. I mean, the way it ended up, it's okay. I mean, it's a fair, complete re-race. We get a little bit of time to refuel our bikes, get some new helmets, stuff like that. I'm not really quite sure why they red flagged it yet. Apparently there was a rider down. Could have been handled a little bit quicker, but in the end, I guess it worked out all right.
Do you think this helps anyone in particular, or do you think it's kind of a pretty fair start, or would you like to see something
I think it definitely helps the guys at the back. You know, for me, I got a decent start. I was in the top 10, so it kind of sucks for me, but I don't know. It's the way it goes. Everybody's got to do it all over again. I just got to try and get another good start.
Here's Keith Little, number 12. You had a great start and did really good in your battle with Tally, and then the whole restart happened. What do you think about how that happened, and do you think it was fair and a good choice by them, and how the restart's going?
Well, I don't know how bad those guys were hurt, but yeah, if they were seriously hurt, it's definitely a good call to, red flag it. But, I've always thought, anytime you completed over 1 or 2 laps, usually 2 laps, it's usually a single file start. So it's kind of crazy that it's a 60% before you get a single file start. Most of the time 60% of the race is over, they just call it as is. But it's kind of weird that they're starting us back on the gate, but it's racing. WPSA has a unique rule system, so it's definitely they have their own set of rules, and got to go by them.
Are you concerned about getting the whole shot and getting up front again, or do you think you can handle it?
I think I can handle it. We got a pretty good spot here, and my bike's running great today.
All right, we're John Natale. John, you had a good whole shot. You're out in second and ended up passing up for the lead. Then the red flag happened. What do you think about it? Do you think it was handled fairly? And what are your plans here for the restart?
Well, I think they handled it according to their rule book, but I don't think that's the way it should be handled.
think we need to look into maybe changing some rules next time, and you know, hopefully I can just get through this first turn safe again and be up front.
What do you think about? What do you think they should do for a restart? Do you think it'd be a single file restart with 10 laps, or?
I think it should be a single file restart with 10 laps. It's a hot day. It's a doubleheader weekend. I mean, I think that they need to bend the rules a little bit this weekend for us with both of our motos this weekend.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Given the fact that they are doing a full restart, do you think it's fair that they're letting people refuel and re-goggle and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely fair because everybody just allows enough fuel for the start that we had the first time. So it's definitely, if we're going to run that extra 4 laps, we've got to be ready to go.
On the restart for round 4, it was Keith Little once again taking his lone star back Honda to the front, this time being followed by Harold Goodman, John Natale, and Chad Wienen. But leading up to the table of 2, Natale and Wienen overtook Goodman, taking over second and third. While the Ironman looked high and low for a way around Keith Little, it was Chad Wienen reeling the outside, trying to find a way past John Natale for second. As they raced up to the finish line to click off another lap, it's the Ironman making the pass over the finish line jump, putting Keith Little between himself and Chad Wienen. Perhaps still distracted from Natale's pass, Keith Little leaves the outside wide open, allowing Chad Wienen to slip past on the outside, dropping him to third. 1 lap later, it's Chad Wienen trying to make the pass on John Natale in the same place he'd passed Little earlier, but watches the Ironman drifts wide, using Wienen's inside tires as a berm, pushing him out into the marbles, allowing the Ironman to temporarily hold on to the lead. On the opposite side of the track where he got pushed offline, it's Chad Wienen once again trying to make a pass for the lead, this time making it stick in the corner leading up to the table of 2. Running in third place when the race was red flag, Josh Kramer had to be feeling a little burnt as he eventually finished 9th after the restart. While Chad Wienen and John Natale firmly controlled first and second, a battle was erupting for third between Keith Little and defending series champion number 55, Digger Doug Gust. After several laps of intense battling, watches Keith Little nearly loses it in the whoops, forcing Gust off the track where he carries more momentum, making the pass as he re-enters the track boundaries. When the checkered flag flew, it was Rockstar Suzuki Yoshimura's Chad Wienen bringing home another victory for his team, after which John Pellin caught up with the winner to find out how his race went.
Chad, how do you find traction in midair? Nobody can do it for you. It's not supposed to be traction up there.
Well, I mean, all season practice, trying to just work on my speed and, you just watch films, watch other riders, especially dirt bikes. They do it the best, and scrubbing speed in the air. And
Did you come from Stewart and two-wheel industry?
Oh yeah, I mean, they brought it up. They brought it around, and we're starting to take it as our own. And I mean, the guys.
I don't think I don't see other riders using Bubba Stewart strategy on the track as much as you. It seems like you're just shoving that quad down on the track. That's what you're doing, essentially.
Yep, and just practice, and the bike setup. It's all huge, and these guys are out here running as fast as they can go, and any little bit of edge helps. And just I couldn't tell you the hours and blood, sweat, and tears to make it up here.
Right on. Today's race, did you get the start you wanted?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted a top 3 start, and that's what we got. The other day I got a hole shot for the first time in my career at a national event, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I like to start behind people, see their pace, and step it up, and make them work.
The two starts today, what was your feeling? Was there some controversy going on? Was it a fair and square race? What was the problem they were saying?
Well, they had a call of a neck injury, and all in all, you got to stop the race for that. I mean, the seconds count in that, and it's just sad when stuff like that happens. And I hope Dustin Nelson is all right and he can return to another weekend. And it's just it's crazy things that happen, and that's part of racing, and we dance with the devil every single time we're out here.
After the race, we tried to catch up with one of the biggest victims of the restart, Josh Kramer, who was visually disgusted. Kramer refused comment. On your ATV Scene results page, here are your top 10 for round 4 of SuperQuad Pro 450. Chad Whedon, followed by John Natale, Dustin Wimmer, Doug Gust, Keith Little, Joe Avisto, Josh Upperman, Harold Goodman, Rocco Arno, and Russell Shoemaker rounding out the top 10. Later that afternoon, when the pros left the line for round 5 of SuperQuad Pro 450, it was Harold Goodman followed by John Natale, Doug Gust, Chad Whedon, and Josh Kramer. Exiting the whoops on lap 1, it's John Natale and Doug Gust diving to the inside of Harold Goodman, taking over first and second. Unfortunately for Goodman, his downward spiral wasn't done yet, as Chad Whedon dropped him to fourth. Still in the opening laps, the odds were definitely stacking against John Natale, as number 191 Dustin Wimmer worked his way around Harold Goodman, moving Suzuki into second, third, and fourth. After the top 4 plate followed the leader for several laps, Chad Whedon was the first to make his move, diving to the inside on his teammate Doug Gust, taking over second. As we saw earlier in round 4, once he worked his way into second, Chad Whedon immediately went to work on John Natale for the lead. In the same place we saw him put the move on his teammate Gust, Chad Whedon looks to the inside on John Natale, but the Iron Man's able to hold him off. One lap later, it's Natale playing defensive on the inside where Whedon tried to pass him one lap before, but Whedon switches it up heading to the outside, carrying more momentum over the table of 2, stealing the lead away from John Natale. After a disappointing finish in round 4, Kawasaki's Josh Kramer found himself running in 5th place where he'd eventually finish. Exiting the Supercross 6, watch as Doug Gust takes the straight line, colliding with Natale, allowing Dustin Wimmer to slip past both riders, moving into second, leaving Doug Gust in third. On the closing laps of round 5, it's Suzuki 1, 2, and 3, with a disgruntled John Natale feeling pushed around in 4th place. When the checkers flew for round 5, it was Team Suzuki filling each tier of the podium, with Chad Whedon, Dustin Wimmer, and Doug Gust finishing 1, 2, and 3.
Strategy. What was it?
The heat. We've been training in this all week, and down at Jeremiah's place, and I think that's what it came down to, and the endurance and the will to want to win. I believe that was all there, and the Suzuki, just pull me out front, and that's where I need to be, and we can make stuff happen.
If you weren't going to pass him, it looked like you had 2 guys behind you that were. It definitely had the 1, 2, 3 punch going today. Did you think it would be a 1, 2, 3, or did you think Natale would be right there?
It's always good when you got your teammates behind you, and we all train together, and it's great having them, on the crew, and they accepted me, and we took the 1, 2, 3, and that's the way we want it to be, and that's the way it went. So we're going to be.
What after the WPSA? What are you planning on doing this year? Your talent is extraordinary lately, and I'm curious what's the plans.
You know, it's up in the air, and hopefully years to come with Suzuki, and that's what we're hoping for. I mean, the team is immaculate.
Right on. Okay, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Any more?
On your ATV Scene results page, here are your top 10 for round 5 of SuperQuad Pro 450. Chad Wienen followed by Dustin Wimmer, Doug Gust, John Natale, Josh Kramer, Joe Avisto, Harold Goodman, Jason Luberg, Rocco Arno, and Richard Pelchat rounding out the top 10.